War Patrols, created by William Schmaltz. Copyright 2025. All rights reserved. This episode of War Patrols is sponsored by Flag Up Mailbox, located in Ironwood, Michigan. USS Harder, SS-257. Report of First War Patrol. Captain Samuel Dealey, June 7th, 1943. Departed Pearl Harbor en route to Midway in company with USS Sea Raven and escorted by PYC Crystal. June 11th. Took pilot aboard. Arrived Midway. Received 14,000 gallons fuel oil. Departed Midway under air escort for assigned operating area. Crossed international date line. Held fire control drills and fired 20mm and 50 caliber machine guns when sea conditions permitted. June 13th and 14th. Uneventful cruising at standard speed of 15 knots, seas smooth. June 15th. Wind shifted from southeast to northwest during night. Barometer dropped, seas picked up. Seas very rough. Slowed to one engine speed, 12 knots, making good 8 knots. Sighted 2 glass balls of type used by Jap fishermen. June 16th. Wind and sea abated during night. Increased speed to 15 knots. Slowed to 1/3 speed. Ran with sea and greased all topside grease fittings. Swung ship on surface for deviation of magnetic compass. During night, barometer dropped. Sea and wind picked up. Very heavy seas by morning, taking occasional waves over the bridge. Experimental canvas drainage tunnels to pump room bilges very satisfactory. Sky hazy and overcast. Intermittent light and heavy rain squalls throughout day. Perfect weather for slipping into area unobserved. Heavy weather has apparently grounded Jap planes covering this area and has chased patrol craft and sampans into harbor. About 1 hour's flying time from Tokyo air bases and still no planes. Sighted Hachijojima distant 18 miles. June 20th. Entered SE corner of assigned area. Study of previous patrol reports and plot of all contacts made indicates that shipping along coast of Honshu follows 2 fairly well-defined routes. 1, the deep water route from Omaisaki to Kashinosaki. The other route closely hugs the shoreline inside the 100-fathom curve, conforming to the contour of the southern Honshu coastline. We'll first patrol near center of area, where the truck Saipan-Nagova route crosses the deep water Honshu traffic lanes. 0500. Submerged and patrolled at 60 feet, making periscope exposure every 10 minutes. First, contact. Sighted masts of vessel hull down, range 6 miles. Sounded battle stations and came to full speed. Closed to position 4 miles from target. Discontinued approach. Target identified as small petrol vessel. Several distant depth charges heard during afternoon. Surfaced and put in battery charge while closing Omaisaki light. Submerged on course 270 and soon found we were being pushed backwards by the Kuroshio, even when making 2/3 speed. Set course south to clear shoal water. Had hoped to work westward along the south coast of Honshu today, but Japan Stream is too strong to buck in this area, if the battery is to be conserved for attacks. During night, 30 miles off Honshu, all members of the bridge force smelled the beach. A distinctive, almost perfume-like fragrance, suggestive of camphor wood and eucalyptus trees. The wind was from the beach and scent became stronger as we moved in. It is suggested that all navigators keep this aid to navigation in mind when approaching Honshu in reduced visibility. 1400. Several sampans sighted. They seem to be on a picket line 5 or 6 miles offshore, conforming to contour of the coast. Considerable nuisance value. Plan to run through or under the Omaisaki offshore patrols tonight just to see what goes on inside that picket line. 2200. Sighted Daiyosaki light. Radar picked up patrol vessel at 4,500 yards. Bridge sighted it simultaneously, turned hard away and speeded up to avoid detection. Not sighted, but maneuver put us within 3 miles of Diosaki. 2330. Sighted another patrol vessel distant 4,000 yards on port beam. His subsequent course change indicated that we were sighted, but he made no attempt to challenge or open fire. At 15 knots, we soon left him trailing on port quarter. We were now definitely inside the picket line with visibility conditions favorable to us. June 22nd. Sighted 2-ship convoy with single escort on port bow distance 11,000 yards. Sounded battle stations and commenced surface radar approach. Leading ship showed by far to be the largest pip on radar screen. Attack was started to seaward of the 100-fathom curve, but course of attack led toward more shallow water. Range closing fast and should not be long until firing. Decided to risk shallow water. At 6,000 yards, target visible in periscope. At 4,000 yards, cleared bridge and submerged to 40 feet. Continuing radar approach. At 2,000 yards, increased depth to 60 feet and shifted con to number 2 periscope. Fired 4 Torpex torpedoes at leading ship, range about 800 yards. First torpedo exploded prematurely after 14-second run, a bit disconcerting for my first shot of the patrol. Torpedoes 2, 3, and 4 hit target with shattering explosions that rocked the submarine. Flames from 3 parts of target enveloped entire ship. It was ablaze from bow to stern in a matter of seconds, with the flames shooting 100 feet into the air. I don't believe anyone aboard could have survived the explosions. Shifted attack, swung ship and periscope to escort vessel on starboard hand, but watching flames of the burning target had completely destroyed my night vision. Ordered deep submergence, right full rudder, all ahead full and rigged for depth charge attack. First depth charge exploded, not too close, as we passed 100 feet. Overshot ordered depth of 300 feet and made our first landing on the shore of Japan in 355 feet of water. Sound head wrecked. Silenced all machinery and boat and waited for countermeasures. Did not have to wait long. 12 more charges exploded overhead at almost regular intervals. The sound party on the escort vessel were no bush leaguers. Time after time, slow, deliberate runs were made over the submarine with 1 or 2 charges unloaded at each pass. None were too close, but none were really wasted. Of the 13 charges dropped, 2 or 3 were believed to be directly overhead, but set shallow, probably at 200, 250 feet. 0300. Decided not to wait for the second team to arrive on the scene. Ship was heavy, and considerable difficulty was experienced in breaking loose from the bottom, even with safety and bow buoyancy tanks blown. Off bottom, but grounded again on another shelf in 350 feet of water. Another try. Then all clear. Discarded idea of returning to periscope depth with boat. Trim pump sounding like a cement mixer, and dawn only 2 hours away. Withdrew to southward. Am certain that target's destruction was complete with those 3 Torpex head torpedoes. At 0600, the Japs' second team arrived, and the spot where Harder had been was given another thorough going over. Spent remainder of morning at 200 feet, resting crew and checking over the ship. End of part 1.